Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are getting an early start to our coverage of UFC 188. Today is Monday, June 1st. We're going to cover the full main card next week, but right now we're going to take a look at just the main event, Werdum and Velasquez, and look at some of the prop odds that are already out at 5 dimes, and we are going to be joined by our regular guest, the best guy to have analyzing UFC odds in the world, maybe Nick Kalikas. He is from MMAoddsbreaker.com. Nick Kalikas, thanks for being back with us.
Thanks for having me back.
All right, so Werdum and Velasquez, it's kind of an interesting matchup. First, let's just quickly touch on the key topics here. I do see that at 5 dimes, Velasquez right now is minus 450 to win, Werdum plus 360 on the other side. And it's tough because obviously Velasquez is, a beast, a force of nature. If he's healthy, that's just an enormous question mark. How do we judge his health here? He's off of a 19-month layoff coming into this fight. Those are two huge question marks, right, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head right there. I mean, Velasquez is the man, but with that layoff, with the injuries, it's always a concern for sure when you're betting, especially at that price.
So, I mean, when you set the odds for this fight, did you take that into consideration? Do you think that the public is just going to bet Velasquez no matter what and not worry about him having health issues or having a rust from the layoff?
Yeah, you got to take into consideration, but at the same time, it's the second part that you said. I mean, I don't think the public's going to care too much. They realize that, Cain Velasquez is honestly a head and shoulders above most heavyweights in the UFC division, so heavyweight division. I mean, that's how good he is. He's got the total package. He's a popular fighter. People know how good this guy is, so they're going to bet him no matter what over most heavyweights.
Well, right now the odds are minus 450 at 5 dimes. Can you tell us anything about the early betting action that has come in so far?
It's actually coming in a little bit more on Werdum. The early action, I mean, more individual bets are coming in as far as, parlays and everything else, that even the actual money out, but more individual straight bets are definitely coming in on the underdog Werdum.
All right, well, we'll see where these lines move next week when we revisit this fight. But right now, we've got a bunch of prop odds out, and it's a 5-round fight, right? And when you think of, fearsome heavyweights, you think usually the fight, ends relatively quickly. Do you think that, looking at these props, if we wanted to take Werdum or Velasquez, do you think we'd just be getting better value to take them inside the distance? Right now at 5 dimes, Werdum is plus 360 to win it, but plus 650 to win inside the distance. And if you want Velasquez, he's minus 450 just to win, but minus 150 to win inside the distance. What's your sense on that idea?
Yeah, a lot of people are taking it, actually. I mean, the most popular bet right now, as far as the props go, is actually Velasquez inside the distance. Right. That's what they got the most individual bets on. And it's no surprise at all. I mean, again, Cain Velasquez is just a beast. I mean, his ferocity, he just pushes such a high pace. His boxing's incredible. He's got that knockout power. Even if he gets you on the ground, he's got outstanding ground and pound as well to go along with it. So most heavyweights can't really take what he dishes out.
Right.
I mean, even Junior Dos Santos. I mean, look how beat up he's been in the few fights with Cain, and Junior Dos Santos is considered the #2 heavyweight in the world. So, I mean, that's how dominant the guy is. He just makes everybody else look bad, and he's capable of finishing, obviously, everybody in the division.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Velasquez to win inside the distance is minus 150, but just the fight itself, not going the distance, is minus 185. For most people who just automatically assume that you want to take unders and inside the distances in heavyweight fights. What's your sense just on this matchup, Nick? Do you think that, maybe Velasquez by decision is actually a better bet than people are giving it credit for, or no?
It might be, because you know what? Werdum is just such a hard guy to finish. I mean, looking throughout his career, the only person to really be able to get him out of there, especially on the feet, was Junior Dos Santos and JDS's debut. And that was a bit shocking. And at the same time, that was a Werdum that was honestly out of shape. I mean, he didn't come into that fight in any kind of decent shape at all. So I think that had a little bit to do with that as well. So Werdum is a tough guy to knock out. I mean, Cain, I just said he's capable of finishing almost every heavyweight in the UFC. But Werdum might be the exception to that rule because, I mean, it's hard. You're not going to submit the guy.
Right.
That submission prop is out there as well. But I would not take Cain by submission. I mean, unless he rocks him to the point where he almost knocks him out and jumps on something where Werdum is really dazed and confused. I mean, he's going to be, in that kind of position. Maybe he gets us up that way, but I doubt that as well. Werdum is such a good submission artist. So really, the main factor is, can Cain knock him out? And it's going to be more difficult than people realize because Werdum is just so tough.
Right. I mean, Velasquez by decision right now at 5 dimes plus 335. Those are kind of healthy odds. If we think that Velasquez dominates but won't be able to knock Werdum out, maybe that might be the best way to go. What do you think about that?
Well, with age and with time, everything starts to eventually give. So if anybody can get him out of there, it is a guy like Cain Velasquez. So that's the danger part right there. But as far as laying juice or taking plus money, I wouldn't hesitate to actually, maybe lean a little bit more towards decision, because exactly what you said, most people are betting on Cain inside the distance. And as you know, the majority of the public is usually wrong as well. So,
right.
And with Werdum's toughness, if you had to pick one or the other, I think the most common thing would be slightly leaning towards Velasquez inside, but the better bet and the better value might be Cain by decision. You're absolutely right.
Okay, and then Werdum. If Werdum does win, what do you think is the most likely way that it happens?
Well, right now, everybody's taking Werdum inside the distance as far as props go. I mean, the majority of the bettors are coming in that way. They think that's basically the only way he's going to pull off the upset.
Right.
Werdum by submission is popular as well a little bit. I mean, that's how they think. I don't think Verdum's going to submit Cain. It's possible. I mean, his stand-up game, Werdum's has gotten a lot better as well. He's been a lot more effective recently. He's got more confidence in it. And we've seen Cain in the past. I mean, he's been knocked out. Junior Dos Santos in their first meeting was able to catch him early in that fight. And Cain has been rocked in the past as well. So it's hard to sleep on Werdum and his newfound confidence. And he does have that knockout power now. He's slowly developing. But it's still hard to imagine that he knocks Cain out, honestly. And then the submission factor, I think the Cain, Werdum's going to be on his back more than likely, and it's going to be hard for him to actually submit Cain Velasquez from his back. And now he's done it. I mean, he even submitted Fedor a long time ago, which was really hard to imagine at that point as well. But I don't think that's going to happen. So I think it's more likely that if Werdum does win the fight, he probably wins it by maybe maybe a lucky punch type of thing and catching Cain on the feet, which is probably what not most people are considering here. If it goes to scorecards, it's going to be hard, honestly, for Werdum to pull off the decision, because he is going to spend a lot of time on his back. Cain is going to be the aggressor on the feet and the more effective striker, more than likely, as well. So, I mean, it's probably his only shot, honestly, is Werdum just landing that knockout punch and catching Cain.
So what about this as a hedge? Nick Kalikas, you bet that the fight won't go the distance. That's minus 185, and you hedge it with Velasquez by decision at plus 335, and you're paying a reasonable favorite line there, but the only way you lose is Werdum by decision.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a tremendous bet and a tremendous value there, because you are safe, like you said. I mean, those are the probabilities. Now, if Werdum goes out there and pulls off the decision, honestly, I'll be shocked. So
right.
I think you definitely hit something right there. I mean, you can hedge your way out there and make, you have room to make some decent money, actually, with the plus 330 and the minus 180, definitely. So I like that.
Nick Kalikas from MMAoddsbreaker.com. Thanks so much for your early thoughts on Fabricio Werdum and Cain Velasquez. We will talk to you next week when we preview the entire card from UFC 188. Thanks so much, Nick.